You're listening to the Too Cool Crew with Jared
and Evan.
Enjoy the show. Hello, everyone. Today in Too Cool Crew history, we are talking about the movie known as The Room.
It is the greatest movie ever recorded.
The greatest worst movie ever recorded. Let's go into a summary of its plot real quick. So, first of all, it is essentially the first half of the movie is just sex. That's it.
Yeah, literally within first 15 minutes there's like 2 or 3 sex scenes.
Yes, back to back. Barely any. It like starts off, the characters will get into places, they'll have like the smallest little minuscule dialogue, and then all of a sudden, bam, sex, and then they'll stop, they'll talk to each other, bam, sex.
Like there's nothing in that 15 minutes that gives you a connection to any of the characters whatsoever.
Yeah, really. There's this one scene. It kind of cracked me up. So this kid, I mean, he looks like he's in his 30s, but they refer to him as if he's a child. He also
acts like a child.
Yeah. He comes in and he, like, honestly, what he's saying is more creepy than it is childlike, because like they were like, okay, we're gonna go into the bedroom because the script is just awful, and then he would be like, oh, can I come? And it's like, no, you can't.
you get no introduction to this kid.
No.
At all.
When they finally actually introduce him as a character,
in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, in the middle of the movie where they're like, oh, he's like an adopted son to Johnny, which is Tommy Wiseau's character.
And he's not even adopted.
Yeah,
he just lives in the same apartment complex.
Yeah, he lives in an apartment that Johnny rents for him, which is baffling. But it's so bad, and nothing makes sense in it either.
No, not at all. It's just like a mishmash of scenes that don't really go together.
There is sort of a plot, but not a good one.
If you want to call it a plot, I guess it's like a romance gone bad.
Yeah, well, barely even a romance. Apparently, the characters don't even believe in romance at some point. It just baffles me how there are so many characters. It's like each scene was written by a different person, because the characters act differently in every single scene. Like in the beginning, like when the play opens, not play, goodness, it's a movie. When the movie opens, like the woman, the female lead that I've already forgotten the name of, because goodness,
it's like
Lisa.
Yeah.
Lisa. So she comes in and she acts like Johnny is the greatest man to ever live. And then the second he leaves the scene, she calls up another character because she just wants to sleep with him for no apparent reason. Because she apparently she doesn't love Johnny anymore. Which is weird.
The character she wants to sleep with is Johnny's best friend.
Yes,
by the way.
Of course, and he agrees, despite also not agreeing. He doesn't want to do it, but he also wants to do it.
He's literally just like, no, Johnny's my best friend. No, okay, let's have sex.
Yeah, really. It's, oh my gosh, and it's crazy, really, because another thing that's weird about the plot is that Mark is opposed to this affair that they're having. He's opposed to it. He hates it. He doesn't want to do this to his best friend. And then all of a sudden, when it's all out in the open and Johnny finds out about it, suddenly he's like, actually, I don't care what you think, Johnny. And it's like, what? You hated this like 13 seconds ago, and now that it's public, you're okay with it?
Yeah, it's like Johnny's the bad guy, even though he's done literally nothing the entire movie. Like nothing good nor bad. He just does nothing.
Yeah. Well, they talk about him like he's a hero.
Yeah.
But also they don't like him. It's weird. It's a very weird mix, because so Lisa, there's this one scene where she's like, "Oh, Johnny, he's the most generous man ever. He's this greatest person ever, the best." And then what's funny is that her mother that she's talking to is like, "Then why do you not love him?" Because she's talking about him as if she loves him, but then but she's already stated that she's already talked to her mother about not loving Johnny anymore. But now she's talking to her mother about how amazing a person he is. And so what is it?
Yeah, like the role switch in like near the end of the movie, where her mom's like, "Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. You can go bang whoever you want to," even though in the beginning and middle of the movie she was like, "No, you need to stay with Johnny. He's so great."
Yeah, she was talking about how how Lisa should be in love with Johnny, how he's such an amazing person, and then all of a sudden, she's like, "Actually, love doesn't even really exist. So don't just marry Johnny for love, and then have fun on the side if you want to." And it's like, where are the characters switching here?
Yeah, there's barely any character development, and more of just like whatever the opposite of character development is.
Yeah, it's more like character vomit, if I had to describe it. So there's this one part in the movie that happens for no apparent reason, where the kid that Johnny is apparently quote unquote raising is on a balcony, and this guy comes up to him and he's like, "Where's my money?" It's so apparently he's been on drugs and he's been buying from drug dealers. But that not only has it never been established before, but it's never mentioned again in the movie. Like, it happens and then it's done. And that's how all the scenes work, apparently.
Like, nothing's ever resolved at all.
And what's also funny about that scene is that, in most scenes like that, because that scene is almost practically completely ripped off from a different movie. It's so cliche. But it's still done wrong. It's still done wrong because, like, when he comes up to the drug dealer and he's like, "Listen, the money will be here in 15 minutes," which is weird because, in most scenarios it's like, I'll have the money in like a week or something like that. But no, he's like, "No, I'll have it in 15 minutes," which is how exactly? But even the drug dealer is like, "Does it look like I got 15 minutes?" And it's like, I mean, probably.
Yeah, how does a drug dealer not have 15 minutes to just stand there?
Yeah,
it's not like he has to make a drop like right now.
Yeah, I mean, he came here if I was a drug dealer and I wanted my money and someone told me it's going to be here in 15 minutes, then I would wait those 15 minutes because I'd rather wait 15 minutes than kill a guy and leave without my money.
And then have a murder charge on your hands.
Yes.
It's like,
rather than wait 15 minutes.
Yeah. Would you rather be caught with drugs and spend maybe 7 to 10 years, or kill somebody and spend 25 to life?
Yeah, it is bizarre. It is the worst written scene I've ever seen. And he pulls a gun on the kid, and then all the other characters come in, and that's when everyone's like, "What's going on? Who was that guy?" And he's like, "I've been taking drugs." And everyone's all upset about it and all this, which is weird because Lisa's practically a sociopath. She cares when the plot needs her to care, and then in other parts she doesn't care. Like, she thinks the kid is annoying, but she also loves him like a son. And also, there's this one part in the movie where the kid confesses to Johnny that he's in love with Lisa, and Johnny doesn't care. But also, they never do anything with that.
Yeah, they just play football.
Yes.
That's it. It goes from that straight to them playing football.
Yes, and then there's a lot of football scenes as well. It's funny how there are just random sex scenes, random football scenes, and it's very clear that Tommy Wiseau has no idea, or not Johnny, goodness, Tommy Wiseau,
yeah,
has no clue what football actually is, because when they play football, they're not playing football.
They're playing catch with a football.
And then there's that one scene where he plays football with Mark, and it's the strangest scene I've ever seen in my life, because it looks like something from Brokeback Mountain.
In a way, yes. Is that the one where they're just running just straight and tossing the football back and just saying random lines?
Yeah, they're just. Yeah. I don't even know. It is bizarre.
They're like, "Oh, I love you, Mark. I love you, Johnny."
Yeah, because they're the best of friends. But then the next time that they talk is when Johnny finds out about Mark and Lisa, and Mark suddenly doesn't care about it anymore. Like, he doesn't care about Mark's feelings anymore. for some reason.
Even though they were just having a grand old time playing football.
He was just talking about how much Mark is his best friend. He could never do anything to hurt Mark. And then all of a sudden, you know what? I love hurting Mark because Lisa. And he also, he claims to love Lisa for some reason. I don't know how anyone could ever love Lisa.
Yeah, there's like no emotional attachment to Lisa in any sense from any character ever.
There's no build up to it that nobody, I don't even know. It's some of the worst acting as well that I've ever seen.
It's like everybody is an alien.
Yeah.
Like there's no human being in that movie.
They're learning how to be human and they're failing.
Yeah. There's also that deleted scene where is it Mark that turns out to be a vampire?
Yes, I love it. It's so there was supposed to be a scene where they're in like a car garage, and then Mark just poofs, turns into a bat, and flies away, and nobody talks about it, nobody reacts to it. It was just gonna be just a scene where he turns into a bat, and that's it. And
it would make more sense if they all just turned out to be vampires.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so bad. The only good actor in that entire movie was Lisa's mom.
And her character just switches.
Yeah, her. I mean, thankfully the actress is good enough to keep my attention, but it is so odd. That one's not her fault.
No, it's 100% Tommy's fault.
Yes, it is 100% Tommy Wiseau, because Tommy Wiseau, as you may not know, he wrote, directed, and starred in this movie and produced it.
Yep.
Everything. Tommy Wiseau did everything in this movie. He is the reason that it exists, and so he's got all the blame too.
Didn't the movie I read cost like upwards of $6 million, and that was all backed by Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah.
And nobody knows where he got that money, because he's not known for literally anything but
The Room.
The Room.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe he just he robbed a bunch of people at gunpoint. But of course, I can't imagine that man getting away with anything like that, because
Give me your money.
Yeah.
Give me your money.
I want it now.
I want it now. Give me your money now.
Oh my gosh. Is that how he is in real life? Is that him as a person?
He has that same voice in every interview I've watched of him. It's just the same.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
It's just so, he is the worst actor in that movie, which is saying something, but he is.
Yet he's still a millionaire.
I don't. Well, I guess because his movie is so bad that people watch it just to laugh at it. Like, I mean, obviously we bought the movie.
Yeah.
So he's still making money, I guess, from that movie.
But I still have no idea how he got the money to produce that. To begin with.
What's bizarre?
Ridiculous.
Everything about that movie is bizarre. And there's that one part where they have when everything finally comes to the surface, and Tommy Wiseau's character Johnny almost gets in a fight with Mark, and then they break it up, and and they're like, you know what, you're right, we shouldn't fight over this. And then there's like this weird transition where they show a cityscape, and then they're back to the party, and all of a sudden they fight again. It's like, if they were gonna fight, why didn't they do it the first time they fought? Like, there's no difference between that scene and this scene. It's the same scene, same characters, same place, same time, everything.
It's like they recorded it twice and forgot to delete the first one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, and it's so bad. And then, spoilers, by the way, spoilers.
Oh yeah, this whole podcast is just a big spoiler.
Yeah.
Probably should have put that at the beginning.
I mean, dude,
it's fine.
With this movie, if you really want to watch it, it's worse than we can't tell you how bad it is. It's worse than you can ever imagine. So you can watch it still if you want to, but
it's on Amazon for like $15.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Special features included. And all right, so with this movie, so Johnny kills himself at the end of the movie. Like that's the end of the movie. He kills himself, and then everyone's like, "Oh no, we did this to Johnny.
We should have been better to Johnny."
Yeah.
Even though like they didn't tell him to kill himself, or
Yeah.
they didn't even kick him out of his own house. They were just
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, we've been having sex," and he's like, "Oh, okay, so I must die now."
Yeah. Well, I mean, it does come to the point where it's like, well, his love doesn't love him anymore. She never did, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, and his best friend.
His best friend is dating her now.
But
and they don't care, but also they do care. And then there's this weird scene where he's like tearing himself apart. He's like, "Oh," and that scene is awful. And then he finally pulls a gun out of this weird little box that he has.
Yeah.
And then just shoots himself.
It's like he's been keeping it like. He's been suicidal this entire time.
Yeah.
He just like pulls out the gun in his suicide box or something.
Yeah. In case of suicide, break glass. Oh, but it's so bad. And then there are so many things in that movie that just don't make any sense. Like apparently, there's this one part where Lisa's mom goes to Johnny because she wants Johnny to pay for the rent for her friend's apartment. And it's like, why would you ever expect that of someone? Why would you ever go to someone and say, "Hey, I've got a friend, and will you pay their rent for them?" What?
Yeah, she didn't even say why they needed rent money.
Yeah.
They're just like, "Oh yeah,
will you pay their rent for them?"
Their rent? Yeah.
And then she when he's on the fence about it, she all of a sudden she's like, "Well, why not? Why are you maybe you're not the person I thought you were." But it's like, no.
So yeah, any sensible person would be like, well, I mean, why do they need it?
Yeah.
Like, are they poor?
Why would... It still baffles me. If I had someone that I knew who needed rent, I wouldn't go to my daughter's fiance for that money.
You would try to help them out yourself because you're their friend.
Yes. Like, I wouldn't go to someone who is essentially a complete stranger to that person and expect... It still baffles me that she fully expected him to pay it and was confused as to why he wouldn't.
Yeah, it was just like the most random thing ever.
It made no sense. Oh, and that's another thing that... Like, everything is random in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, there are scenes that just happen for no reason. Like, the drug dealer scene, every single football scene... Like, these scenes could be cut out of the movie entirely, and it still be the same. Like, you wouldn't lose anything.
You're also introduced to two random characters that are apparently Lisa's friends, but you don't know
like
that.
her sister, Lisa's sister, and her sister's boyfriend.
You're just introduced to them by them having sex in Johnny's house.
Yes, they walk into Johnny's apartment without asking permission. They don't get invited or anything. They just walk straight into his apartment and just start going at it right there in his apartment. And then then all of a sudden, her and Lisa's mom walk in to interrupt them, and then he runs away. Then the boyfriend goes to Johnny to talk about stuff. I don't even understand what even happened because that's one of the football scenes. He talks to Johnny about something that it's left me because it was so.
He said that he left his underwear.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he had to go get it.
Right, that was like a big plot point, I guess. No, it wasn't. There are no big plot points in that movie.
And then they play football, and then the boyfriend that we just got introduced to, he gets hurt.
Yeah, he gets hurt, and that ends the football scene. And then there's also a psychologist in this movie who is a friend of Johnny's, who Johnny goes to. And at first it's set up like he's seeing a psychologist because his friend is a psychologist. But also, it's a friend of Johnny's. But also, it's such a weird scene. Like because Johnny has found out about Mark and Lisa. He hasn't told anyone about it, and he's not even being honest with the psychologist. He's just being vague about the whole situation. And he's talking. He's like full psychologist layout here. Like the psychologist is in the chair. Johnny's laying sprawled out on the couch, detailing all this. And it's so weird to me because it's like, okay, so he's just went to see a psychiatrist or something, but then he talks to him like the psychologist is like, I've been a friend with you and Lisa for forever. He's like, okay, and then but like he's still trying to be a psychologist to Johnny, but then Johnny says this one line that's like, why you always gotta be like a psychologist all the time to me? Like, because he's like, he doesn't want his friend to be a therapist for him, but he went to him to be a therapist for him.
This is all at Johnny's house, right?
Yes. He invited the psychologist to come to his house to be a psychologist to him, but then gets mad at him when he tries to actually be a psychologist. And it's like, thinking about this movie and trying to make sense of the plot is actually hurting my head right now. Like, I feel lightheaded from trying to make sense of any of this plot.
Yeah, just watching the movie, it's really hard to wrap your head around because nothing, like you said, nothing makes sense. It's all just a mishmash of scenes that just
kind of happen.
They when they put together, it's just like a vague plot that you get to see unfold.
Yeah. It is so bad. It's so bad. I can't recommend it, but go watch it anyway.
Oh yeah, definitely. You have to watch it. It's the best train wreck in the world.
Why don't we move on now that I think we've covered pretty much what the plot is, and also, well, there is to cover. We've covered. Let's move on to reading movie reviews of The Office. Not The Office. That's a good show. Watch that.
Yeah, that's a good show. This is a bad movie.
Yeah, The Room. We're gonna read movie reviews for The Room. Do you want to start it off, or shall I?
I'm gonna start it off with. Well, hold on. You can go ahead first. I'm trying to find this copy pasta that's on here.
So, this is a review from Yash Kumar, and this is on Google Reviews. I think this movie is a timeless masterpiece. Why, you may ask? The factors of a movie that make it good, if done well, are good cinematography, good acting, good writing, and good direction. I think this movie excels in each and every single one of those things. The cinematography is absolutely breathtaking. The way the camera gets blurred and shaky at random parts of the movie really just gives you the feeling of the trauma and stress that Johnny is going through.
Yeah, I forgot about all the shakiness of the camera.
Yeah. Because this movie makes me feel the same way, confused, stressed, and frightened. The acting is phenomenal, and I'm stumped by the fact that none of the actors got an award for best performance. Tommy Wiseau's acting, especially, is absolutely stellar and 100% convincing. The way he puts absolutely no effort in any of his lines, like the "Oh hi Mark" scene, is a creative and intuitive way of telling us about what his character is like. The writing is incredibly clever, and it really makes you feel like you are watching a movie about aliens trying to pretend to be human. The dialogue is very consistent and totally doesn't have a million plot holes in every single scene. Tommy Wiseau did a wonderful job at directing this movie. As I walked out of the theater, I was looking for a bleach shop when I realized that this movie is actually a timeless masterpiece that will stay with me for a very long time. Sure, I burned the theater down after watching this movie, but I eventually did realize how amazing this master stroke of a movie really is. Bravo, Tommy Wiseau.
And I've stumbled across something amazing. It is a copy pasta review posted not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, but like probably 10. Tommy Wiseau's unrivaled directorial debut, The Room, is a masterpiece and one of the most underappreciated films of the modern era. Every line and scene has so much care and effort put into it that it easily puts many far more ambitious films to shame. Its character writing is outstanding, and every line feels genuine and carries emotional weight. The film features an excellent and devoted cast, including fantastic performances from Greg Sestero and Juliette Danielle, though every role is brilliantly portrayed. The story is a marvelous feat in storytelling with an intricate, compelling narrative that will keep you enthralled, intensely suspenseful cliffhangers, and a heart-stopping ending. Literally, because he kills himself. Anyone who's seen it knows this is only a, what is that word?
Modicum
of the heartfelt genius that makes The Room easily the greatest film of all time.
I feel like that's a lot like the. Have you ever seen American Psycho? When he's talking about hip to be square. I can imagine him saying that about, like, have you ever seen The Room, Paul?
Hey,
it's a
Paul.
timeless masterpiece.
Hey, Paul.
Yes. I mean, I feel like you'd have to be an American Psycho to actually like that movie. So,
or a random, like, what is he, like, Eastern European guy?
Yeah.
Tommy himself.
Oh my! Well, his accent is so indistinguishable that I couldn't tell you where he's from. I don't know.
It's like, well, that's another thing too. Nobody knows where he's from.
Yeah.
Or like, he's just this mysterious being that has millions of dollars to make a movie.
Yeah.
And then
he somehow has money to make a movie. He somehow got backing. That movie somehow premiered in a theater. And people paid to see it.
That blows my mind. He has to have some sort of pull somewhere.
Yeah, he's got friends in high places. All right, but I'm gonna read another review real quick because this one really is just funny to me. By Game Cats, and they have a beautiful photo, which is, I forget what those characters are called.
It's a Banjo and Kazooie.
Banjo and Kazooie. Banjo is wearing a Mario hat, so you know this guy is clearly a classical genius.
He has exquisite taste.
This one goes out to you, Game Cats, from your 3-year-ago review. In my opinion, the best good-bad movie ever. Quotable lines from "Oh, hi, Denny," to "In a few minutes, B." The main characters are Tommy Wiseau playing Johnny, an interesting yet, I'm not sure if I can say that,
mentally challenged,
creepy alien man whose dialogue is always dubbed because of his lazy script and weird accent. Juliette Danielle playing Johnny's beautiful but cheating, manipulative fiancée, Lisa. Philip Haldeman playing hilariously awkward, suspicious teen boy Denny. Greg Sestero playing Mark, Johnny's sexy, oblivious best friend who gets seduced by Lisa throughout the film. And last but not least, well, actually maybe least, Carolyn Minogue playing Lisa's overreactive, obvious stating mother, Claudette. She really is the best actor, though. The movie's plot and story are obviously bland. It's so funny and glorious. If you ever want to watch a bad movie with clearly awful performances and lines that's enjoyable and entertaining, then The Room is your movie. And I agree.
I do too. It's so bad that it's brilliant in a way.
Yes. I mean it's like Trainwreck, you know. You can't stop watching it even though you want to. And I think because of that reason, that movie's gonna live forever. I think my grandchildren are still gonna be hearing about that movie, and if they aren't, then I'll show it to them so that legacy lives on.
$15 on Amazon.
Remember that.
Buy it.
Buy it like it's gold.
It is gold.
Oh, all right. Well, I think. Oh goodness, my voice. I think that is all we have time for today. Thank you for tuning in if you did tune in. And we hope to see you if and when we do the next episode.
Yeah. We decided on a fist bump.
I'm glad you couldn't see that. Goodbye, all.
Goodbye.